Time for an update video. It's been a week or two. So we got our panel swapped out for a dual meter panel, and the inspector came and said this was not going to work because it's a 200 amp panel, and he said the panel needs to be rated for 225 amps at least. But we had this panel approved by the planning engineer at the city office, and they said it was okay because it had a bus bar rating of 600 amps, even though the panel was rated for 200 amps. Technically, it's got a 125 amp socket and another 125 amp socket as a 200 amp panel, and the house only needs 125 amps and the ADU only needs 125 amps. So technically this meets our needs, but the inspector did not like that it did not have the 225 amp rating, and he said the panel 225 amps, not the bus bar at 225 amps. So I gave him the email from the planning engineer that said this was fine based on the specs of this one having 600 amp bus bar rating, and they said they would discuss it and then get back to me. Long story short, they said this is fine as long as we get a sub panel at the ADU that is rated for 225 amps, and it has something to do with capacity for solar. So I said fine. I had already bought a 200 amp panel for the ADU, so I had to return all that. Thankfully, Platt Electric accepted all that stuff back. So now I'm getting the 225 amp sub panel outdoor for the ADU. Also, the inspector complained that the gas meter was too close to the panel, but he said since it was already existing and PG&E said it was okay and the fence is there between them, he said he would okay it. But let's go over here to the ADU. So at the ADU, they want on their plans, the pre-approved plans, they want an outdoor panel, and they wanted it flush mount, and I could not find a flush mount 225 amp outdoor panel. It would have to be like special ordered, and so I had done a revision since we weren't going to upgrade our main panel to 200 or to 400 amps as the pre-approved plans called for. So we got a alteration or revision to the permit that said we could do basically just, it didn't specify surface mount or flush mount. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a surface mount, and they won't let us go into the back of the surface mount panel with like a 2-inch nipple and run all the wires in and staple like that ADU guy does in Oregon. I asked them if they would accept it here, and they said they wouldn't take that. So they said if we're going to the outdoor panel, we have to do it's like NEC code 312.5 C exception or something like that. But anyways, it has to do with you have to either secure your wires to the panel, or you have to run them in from the top with like an 18-inch or up to like, I can't remember what it is, maybe 10 feet conduit, and then that would be acceptable. So long story short, I'm going to do that. I'm going to have some sort of junction box up here, and I'm going to convert all of this to THWN wire to go from there to there outside through the conduit, because my city will not allow the Romex in anything rated or considered outdoors. So that will be fun. Other things is I've got doors installed. I'm gonna maybe possibly make a front door because I figured that might be fun, and it's like $1,000 for a new door anyways, so let's see what I can make. I got this frame from just a local door company they gave me the materials, and then I cut them and made it fit to a standard size door for like $160 for these for this material and the weather strip. So this is nice and solid. This is really good. And the height here is about a ½ inch, maybe a little bit more between the floor and the threshold there. And on this side, the height's good, but my threshold here, the lip that this sits on is just past where the concrete is. So this, let me see if I can show you, this bends down like 3/4 of an inch when you stand on the outside edge. So I might want to fix that. Maybe mount something along the bottom that it can rest on. But besides that, I've got the doors and windows installed. And sorry for rotating the camera there. And then there's all kinds of flashing details that my city wants kind of exactly how they want them. So I'm making flashing with galvanized sheet metal. I got a roll. It's like 28 gauge or something like that. At Lowe's, it was like 20 feet by 20 or 20 inches by 25 feet. And so I'm soldering with just my regular plumbing stuff, except I got this acid core solder wire, and it seems to have worked just fine. I did some test runs, and it seems to have soldered just fine. I would clean up the metal, scrape the metal with a wire brush before doing it, and then that piece is going to slip right up here. And another headache I'm been working through is I'm hoping that they will allow me to have this exposed beam here and exposed post, because on the pre-approved plans it has the post and beam being wrapped with fiber cement board. And so I'm just gonna flash over the top with metal and around the penetrations with metal and seal that really well with some really good waterproof sealant caulking. And we'll see soon whether they approve all that and my window and door flashings. So I think that's a good enough update for now.